All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started, guys. First thing right out of the gate, obviously it's not July 2020, so I apologize. This is when I did this PowerPoint, but I went through the PowerPoint earlier this week. Everything is still exactly relevant to the training that I did last July. So I'm going to go through this again with you guys, and hopefully you can pull some things that will benefit you for your success this year. But diving right into it, guys, let's talk about our market specifically real quick. We work with small business owners. You guys know that, right? 80% of small businesses make just enough money for the owner to earn a living. Okay, so we're not dealing with rich people here. Okay, we're working with small business owners, contractors, insurance agents, real estate agents, okay, 1099 employees. All right, these are all people that do not get coverage through work. If they don't have a spouse that's working and providing group coverage, that's our market, right? Most of the time, these business owners are not going to qualify for subsidies through the ACA. Sometimes they will, right? Because the ACA has different limitations than Medicaid, right? ACA is based off of just income. Medicaid is based off of income and assets. So it's two totally different worlds, right? So sometimes you will get a small business owner that, just because they've got a business that's bringing in $500,000 a year in revenue or $1 million a year in revenue, they may only be taking a $25,000 a year paycheck. And in that case, the ACA may look very attractive to them because they can get a very low premium and have it subsidized. Again, in most cases, we're targeting small business owners that the ACA doesn't work well for, because we really usually only have a 6-week window to help those folks that the ACA does work well for, right? But I hope you guys have all stayed in touch with what's going on in the healthcare world, as the ACA is going to open again for a 90-day term starting February 15th this year. So we will talk more about that on Monday, but I want you guys to be very clear that there is another open enrollment period coming up for the next 90 days that the Biden administration just announced yesterday, okay? But again, most of the time we're targeting individuals or small business owners, and we're gonna assume these folks don't qualify for the ACA plans. They can afford a reasonable premium, okay, whether that's $200 for an individual, $500 for a family. I mean, most people think that's a reasonable premium for a family or an individual, small business owners. You have an opportunity to build long-lasting relationships with these people. Guys, I've got clients that have been my clients for the last 6 years. It's down to the point where it's literally a 5-minute conversation during open enrollment to check in and say, hey, you're good, stay put, or hey, let's look at some other options. Maybe they call me once a year, to ask a question or to shoot me a referral. But I've got very good relationships with my clients. And that's the key to success as a health insurance expert, guys. Okay, I know guys in this business, or I should say agents in this business, that run a persistency of 40%, 50%. What does that mean? That means more than half of their business falls off the books. They're gunslingers, right? They can close a deal, but their service piece is lacking, right? And what happens when your service piece is lacking is you're always chasing the advance dollars. In order to earn a paycheck, you've got to clear out whatever chargebacks you've got coming, right? And then exceed that with new business coming in. And you never get to a back end, right? You never get to the point where you earn renewals and you get to kind of, I don't want to say sit back and coast, but you get to the point where the pressure is less off in this business, right? I'm not at a point in my career where I have to make a sale, I have to make a sale. Some of you are, and that's okay, because I was there too, right? I've been there. I've been there where if I don't sell this week, I don't pay rent next week, right? I've had that scenario, okay? And I've lived that scenario, as a family man, with, as a father, as a husband, and it's not fun. right? But all the more reason why the fundamentals and the sales process that we're about to go over has to be like you have to become an expert at it. It has to become second nature to you, because the one thing I love about this business is if you need $2,000, go make $2,000 today, right? You can sit down with a calculator and determine, okay, to make $2,000, I need to write $10,000 in annualized premium, which is an $800 a month premium. I need 2 or 3 clients today. I make $2,000, and I'm good to go for my month's rent or whatever, right? So that's what I love about this business. You can literally make exactly what you need. Write your own paycheck when you need it. And if you have the service piece, you're going to enjoy those back end, that renewal commissions, because your clients are going to stay with you. You have that relationship with them, and you're going to get to a point in your career where chasing the upfront commissions is not, there's a lot less stress involved, and you don't have to chase those commissions as much. I want to touch on this real quick, guys. What is a lead? Okay, because I want to tell you exactly what a lead is. And until you get this mentality, until you understand this, you're going to have a very difficult time in this business, because there's agents in this industry that are what I call opportunity hoppers. They hop from this opportunity to that opportunity to that opportunity. And really what they're looking for is the recruiter that can sell them on the best lead source, right? The recruiter that makes their job sound the easiest, right? The easiest way to make money in this business, that's the agency that I want to be working with. I challenge on almost every single call that I have with my team, I challenge you guys to find that golden lead source for me, because as soon as you do, I'll jump on it. All right, I've been in this business since 2005. I've yet to find the golden lead source. In fact, the golden lead source is referrals. That's really the golden lead source, because they're trusting you, right? A close second, I would say, would be somebody that reaches out to me based off of the content that I've put out on social media. Okay, so referrals would be my first choice of lead to work with. My second choice would be somebody that is answering an ad that I put out on social media, okay? Because in both cases, the rapport is already built, right? But, a lot of you, maybe social media is not your game right now, right? You got to get there ultimately. We'll talk more and more about that, but maybe it's not your game right now. Maybe it's a little outside of your comfort zone, but you gotta pump more out, right? Still, the most effective way to get business in this industry is to pick up the phone and call your customer directly, or walk into their business right off the street, and we'll talk about how to do that here. But what is a lead? According to most insurance agents, a lead is somebody who is currently shopping for their product, okay? In our situation, health insurance. So somebody who's currently shopping for health insurance. Somebody who has been qualified prior to the agent, you calling them, okay? So somebody who meets the standards to be your customer. Someone who's waiting for your call, right? Somebody who's, when you call them, they're like, oh yeah, I've been expecting your call. I am shopping for health insurance. I am healthy, and I do make too much money for the ACA, right? And somebody who's committed to doing business with you before you ever speak to them. That is the expectations that most agents have for a lead in our industry, okay? Now, I hope most of you are realists and you understand that that's just not reality, right? That's not what a lead really is. Again, when you find that golden lead source, send it my way, because I will, not only will I load up on them for myself and my partners personally, but I'll buy them for you. You bring me that lead source, I will make a verbal commitment with you right now that I will purchase an endless amount of those leads for you to build your business, okay? Until you tell me to stop purchasing those leads for you, I'm gonna keep buying them for you. So let me know when you find the golden lead source. What is a lead really, okay? A lead is a name and number, and it's somebody who buys your product, okay? And I use this analogy a lot. I say, let's say you're starting a career as a car salesman, okay? And, we gave you a list of 100,000 names, and we said 80% of the people on this list, okay? So 80,000 people on this list, okay, out of the 100,000 are going to buy a car this year. What would you do to that list as a car salesman? Would you say those are good leads to be calling and spending your time reaching out to and see how many of those 80,000 people that are going to buy a car this year, how many of those you can get into test drive a car from you? Yeah, you would probably agree that those are good leads, right? Well, that's what we have in the health insurance world, right? We have small business owners that we know, okay, in most cases are not providing group health insurance for their employees. Now, if they are, you still have a stab at that. We can do their group health, right? But we got small business owners that we know have to make their own, in most cases, unless they have a spouse that provides health insurance from their job, in most cases, they're the decision maker when it comes to their health insurance. It's about 80% of the time, they're going to be the decision maker, okay? So we know they buy our product. So we've got unlimited names and numbers of people that buy our product. And the health insurance landscape, okay, here we go again with this short-term tug of war, right? The tug of war on the short term, right? It was 12 months, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare became law. Obama knocked it down to 3 months. Trump comes into office, he beefs it up to 36 months. And now Biden's in office. Sure as I'm sitting here talking to you, it's going back to 3 months. I'm telling you right now, that's going to happen, okay? So the health insurance world has become something that you need to review every single year because there's new health shares coming out, there's new indemnity products coming out, there's new laws and regulations that are being implemented that could affect your coverage, okay? So, again, that's where being an expert and building your clientele and servicing them can really come in handy because these are people that you're going to be working with on a yearly basis to renew or reassure that they are in the best spot, right? So if you're going to be a professional in this game, the selling part is done once, okay? Then it's just a maintaining, right? And you're going to lose some customers. That's human nature. They get a job, they get coverage, right? The wife or spouse gets a job, gets coverage. I mean, that happens all the time in our business, okay? But we really are blessed in this industry because we have a product that's ever changing that people need to review annually. And we can pinpoint a list of business owners that 80% of the time buy our product, and we're talking to the decision owner. There's very few products out there that you can literally target your customer like that. So I understand why we've gotten spoiled in this business as it relates to leads, but you have to go in understanding that, there really is an unrealistic expectation when it comes to leads out there for most agents. So don't be one of those agents that has an unrealistic expectation when it comes to leads, okay? Types of leads that we specifically work with. Okay, we talked about small business owners, okay? We can provide you a list of unlimited small business owners and we can target types of businesses. We can target demographics, geographical locations, right? We can target size of the business, okay? And so there's some things that we can do to target that list for you, okay? But otherwise, we're not gonna, other than the fact that they're gonna fit into that target, we're not gonna have much more info other than their name, their number, and again, an 80% chance that they buy our product. You can get unlimited amounts of those leads, all right? And as we talked about before, if you were starting a career as a car salesman today, and I gave you a list of 100,000 people, and I said, I guarantee 80,000 people on this list will buy a car this year. And you knew that of those 80,000, I mean, what are good numbers as a car salesman? Like 30 cars? You sell a car a day, right? You're probably making pretty good bank, right? So So what is that, 360 cars a year? So you got to get 360 clients. Let me do the math here. 360 clients out of that 80,000 that's going to buy. So you literally need 0.45% of that list to come buy from you. I mean, if you do a deal a day in this game, I mean, you're home free. You are home free. 360 clients in a year, you're home free. All right. That's big, big, big money. You're going to be making over $200,000, $250,000. All right. And I can give you a list of many, many more. All right. Unlimited. It's unlimited. Okay. We also have telemarketed leads available of small business owners. Now, these are vetted. Okay. We have a marketing team that's generating these leads every single day. We have their name, their number. In fact, I have one here. Their spouse's age, number of dependents, their current coverage, whether or not they have a subsidy through Obamacare, do they take tobacco, and their health history, most recent health history. This one had facial reconstruction in June of 2016. So we have telemarketed leads available. Now you can earn free telemarketed leads through production, okay? Philadelphia American has a lead program, National General has a lead program, but you can also purchase these leads, okay? And we also have live transfers, small business owners, okay? We've got their name, number, and they have to qualify health-wise. They have to be the decision maker on their health insurance, and then they're connected to us directly. Okay, that's the criteria that they have to meet. They got to be healthy, be the decision maker, and be ready to talk to an agent, and then we take it from there, okay? Those are available for purchase as well, all right? So those are the specific types of leads that we have available. Lots of opportunity when it comes to leads, okay? So small business owners, okay? I think I kind of did this on the last page and touched on them briefly, but you know, we're going to talk about the script when you're dialing small business owners, okay? I got to be honest with you guys, okay? There is absolutely, you know, just like there's no realistic, there's a very unrealistic expectation when it comes to leads, especially in the insurance business. Scripts, and for some reason, agents have this thinking behind scripts that if they just got the right script, that it would be game changing for them. Okay, and so let me go over a script with you. If I'm cold calling a small business owner, okay, I would approach it as a follow-up call. Somebody that I had tried to. Somebody whose business I had tried to earn in the past, right? And let's say, I'm just gonna look at the first name here, Herb Coates. Hey, Herb, good to see you on, man. So Herb Coates, let's say I'm calling Herb, right? I would call and say, hey, Herb, Drew Ellison, Benefits Management Team, how you doing, man? That's great. Listen, I spoke to you last year at some point. I don't know if you remember me or not. It was kind of a brief conversation, but I was trying to earn your business when it comes to health insurance. I'm an expert working with small business owners. I'd love to see if there's another opportunity here to earn your business. There's some changes that the Biden administration is making. Is your zip code still boom, 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 right? And I would just be as honest and upfront as possible. Sales today in 2021 is totally different than sales when I first started sales back in 2001. It's totally different, okay? The cheesy salesman stuff works less and less. What that means is consumers have gotten much smarter, okay? And what works better now than sleazy salesman stuff is blunt, being blunt. This is pure honesty, okay? Hey, my name's Drew. I'm an expert at working with health insurance, working on health insurance for small business owners like yourself. I would love an opportunity to earn your business, okay? And see what I can do for you. Just want to, get a couple pieces of information from you. Nothing that's going to allow me to scam you. It's not like I need your social and your PIN number, right? All I want is, birth date, zip code, an email address that I can send a quote to, see if I can help you out. Get a few more details about their specific scenario, right? Their situation. And that's it. You would just want to ask for the opportunity to earn their business. And if you handle it like a follow-up call, right, you approach it like a follow-up call, then, right there, they're thinking, wow, this guy's, maybe he's a career agent. Maybe he's not in a call center just reading off some BS script, right? Maybe this is a career agent that I did talk to, several months back. All right. So that's how I would approach that with a small business owner. Okay. But the keys to that, okay, and actually, I think I have it on a different slide. I'm just going to talk about the keys to what it takes, all right? I can give you guys scripts, but you really got to, it really has to, it comes down to confidence, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it, okay? That's really the difference between, if you call and you're very unsure of yourself and you're very scared, which a lot of agents do, right? And that's okay to do that in the beginning. Ultimately, you have to overcome that fear. You have to gain confidence on the phone. If you don't have confidence as a salesman, you're just not going to make it as a salesman, right? You're better off, checking career and, I don't know, reinvent yourself, start coding or something, okay? Because sales is just not going to be your deal. You have to be confident, okay? Let's talk about telemarketing and small business owners. Now, remember, these are vetted, okay? So I have a lead here, Brian Harrison. I'd call Brian. I'd say, hey, Brian, Drew with Benefits Management Team. How you doing? Great. Listen, you spoke to one of my reps last week. Actually, I have the name of the lead generator here, Nicole Clark. You spoke to Nicole last week about getting a health insurance quote. I'm the broker they forwarded the case to. I'm going to be working with you to see if we can help you. I have your zip code here, 32438, and you just go right into it, right? You got to have that confidence level, though. And there's another thing, okay, is after you introduce yourself, tell them why you're calling. You want to go right into asking them a question, okay? That in most cases you'll get a yes answer from. So verifying their zip code, verifying their age. If you have a telemarketing lead, are good things to start with. Okay, get them saying yes, right? That's part of psychology in sales, right? Is get them saying yes, right? So get them to agree to what you're talking about, and you start going in the process, right? Live transfers. Live transfers are, that's easy. You don't have to make the call. The call comes to you, right? You pick up the phone, okay? You're gonna say, hey, this is Drew, and on the other end is gonna be the screener from the live transfer company, the marketing company, and they're gonna say, hey, I have Joe Blow on the phone. He lives in Tennessee. He's looking for health insurance for him and his wife, and they have nothing currently, right, or whatever. And Joe Blow, here's your broker Drew, and they drop off the call. And you introduce yourself, and you say, okay, let me start with some information. Let me get your zip code, and you go right into it. Go right into it. Birthday, wife's birthday, current coverage, health, income. You go right into qualifying. Okay. The first call is not time to build rapport. So let's get into some specifics. All right. That first call, okay, it's not time to build rapport. Okay. You want to get down to business. And business owners respect that because they are business owners. Okay. They are not, they don't want to shoot the shit with you, right? Excuse my language. They don't want to just you call somebody in Missouri and say, hey, you a Chiefs fan? Come on, man, get to the point. I'm running my business, but why'd you call me, right? So the first call is not the time to build rapport. You want to get down to business, all right? And make, and it really does, it solidifies your role as an expert too, okay? The more professional you sound and confident, then obviously, the more comfort the prospect is going to have working with you, right? All right, so what do you do on that first call? Okay, guys, the day of the one call close in our business is over, okay? The agents that are slamming they're slamming the deal, okay? They're closing the deal hard. Guys, I encourage you to go check out our YouTube series called Lion Ass Agents, where 100% of the time, these call center agents have tried to slam me and close me right on the spot, right? They didn't send me any information. They just expect me to take their word for it. And in every single case, they're lying through their teeth about the policy. So an educated consumer, all right, which is what we have in today's world, make no mistake about it, the consumers are much smarter than they ever have been, okay? They're not just going to take your word for it. With all the scams that are going on in today's world, the last thing they're going to do is, with one conversation, having one conversation with you, hand over their socials, their bank account information, do a deal just based off your word. I don't care how good of a salesperson you are, the one call close days are over. Now, does that mean that they will never happen? No. You're always going to have that, one in however many presentations you make where they just say, yeah, let's go ahead and get it done, right? But 99.9% of the deals that you write moving forward it will take multiple calls to get the deal done. The one call close days are shot, all right? So what you want to do on the first call is gather as much information as possible, okay? This is your opportunity to gather as much information as humanly possible. You want to get the zip code. You want to get the birth dates or ages. You want to know if they smoke, their health status. That's information that you need to run a quote anyway, right? You want to know their current premium, their current doctors, their closest hospitals, right? Let them think that you are literally, you're going to take all of the information and you really are going to go find the best product that fits their needs. Now, if you have their name of their primary care doctor and their primary care doctor does not accept Philadelphia American, okay, but they take National General or they take United Healthcare, right? Maybe that's what you start with, right? Is quoting, UHC or NatGen, right? But gathering as much information is crucial to know what direction you're going to go in, all right? So once you gather that information, the next thing you got to do is you're going to book a follow-up appointment with an exact time, all right? And you got to tell them the game plan. You got to set the stage, set the expectation, let them know what your next steps are, okay? Lead the process, okay? Lead the process. So here's what I'm going to do right now, okay? I'm talking to Herb, right? Hey, Herb, I got all the information. I gathered information. And so you guys know on my end what it sounds like when I do it. I get zip code, birth dates and genders of everybody that needs to be insured. I get all that. Boom. Does anybody smoke? Is anybody a smoker in the house? No. Great. Boom. Is anybody healthy? Does anybody go to the doctor often, take medications for anything, have any conditions that are being treated regularly? I get the answer. Great. Let me ask you, do you have coverage currently? If so, what are you paying? What's your deductible? What are your copays? Anything you can tell me about your current policy could help me. What are your likes? What are your dislikes about the plan? Okay. Have you had any experience using it? All right. Have you had any difficulties using it? All right. And finally, I'll ask them, do you have a primary care doctor that you want to make sure accepts whatever policy I send you? Or do you have a closest hospital that you'll go to in the case of emergencies that you want to make sure is in network? Okay. If I get answers to all those questions, okay, now I have a fully qualified prospect. Okay. Now I'm going to book the follow-up appointment. Before I even send them a quote, before I even tell them what I'm offering them, I've just qualified them, and now we're going to have the okay. And what this does, guys, is this weeds out the buyers versus the window shoppers, okay? If you have a window shopper, you're probably not going to get a solid appointment time. If you've got a buyer, you bet your ass you're going to have a solid appointment time, okay? So really, you can do a real good job right now of narrowing down who are your buyers right now and who's going into the pipeline to follow up and put through the follow-up procedure, right? And who am I going to close down the road, right? A lead, you should never let a lead die, okay? A lead that talks to you, that buys their own health insurance, whether they buy from you today or they buy from you during open enrollment this year, or they don't buy from you for a year and a half down the road, okay, you should have a follow-up process as an entrepreneur to make sure that when they do talk or think about purchasing a new health insurance plan, you're the first person to pop in their head, all right? But you're gonna find some buyers right out of the gate, okay? And I'd book the follow-up appointment like this. I'd say, all right, Herb, I've got all the information that I need to find the product that I think best fits your needs. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some shopping and some research, and I'm gonna send you one quote. I'm not gonna overwhelm you with 2 or 3 quotes, okay? That is a mistake. Do not send multiple quotes. Send them one to start with, okay? I'm gonna send you one quote, Herb, okay? And now, it's going to come directly from the insurance company. So keep your eye out for that health insurance quote. All right. And then let's get a time set up where you and I can go over this, the details of this quote together. Now, this isn't going to be the only option that I have available. This is just going to be the one that I think is going to be the best possible option for you. If we need to switch gears, then we'll do that, during our appointment. But let's set up a time where you and I can go over this quote together. And I'll tell you, Herb, the best way to do that is give me a time where you'll have access to a computer or a laptop. And that way we can do a screen share and go over it, okay? Guys, if you guys are career salespeople and you're just now adapting to the new normal as it relates to sales, the screen share appointment is equally as effective as the in-face appointment at the coffee table, right? So if you've ever done outside sales where it was, making sales was dependent about you getting in the household or you getting into the business to make the presentation, now it's just getting them in front of a computer to make the presentation, okay? But your sales, your closing percentage should be as good in front of a computer doing a screen share as it was when you were in the home, right? So book the follow-up appointment, get the time, get the date, and get a commitment from them to have access to a laptop or a computer. Some of the most common objections, I don't have that. I have a phone, I have a smartphone, everything's done through my smartphone. Well, that's fine. Just gotta, you may have to squint to see some of the information, but at least you can follow with me as I go through it. But best case scenario is a computer or a laptop that they can, see on their end and watch you break everything down for them. All right. But book that follow-up appointment. Get the hard time. All right. I stress this because this is something that agents do. This is a big mistake that agents make on a regular basis. They'll say, okay, great, I got all the information I need. I'm going to go ahead and send you a quote, and I'll follow up with you early next week. Okay, sounds good. That's very, as soon as they hang up the phone, they're not looking for your call next week. Okay, get a time commitment. All right, now is everybody going to commit to a time? No. Okay, but again, that's how you weed out your buyers. You want to spend your time with your buyers. All right, and guys, if your goal is to close, keep in mind, 4 sales a week, 3 to 4 sales a week is well into 6 figures. All right. Now, when you talk about placement, maybe you're going to place 98% with our product, 95% placement, 80% persistency. Now, those numbers are, low. You should have, with service, you should have 90% persistency plus, right? Then you're about 100 grand, right? 100, 115, 120 grand. But 3 to 4 sales a week, that's all it takes. All right. So if you're an 80% closer, what do you need? You need 4 or 5 appointments per week. Are you going to have no-shows? You're damn right you're going to have no-shows. Are you going to have cancellations? You're damn right you're going to have cancellations. Okay. So do the numbers in your head. All right. If you have a 50% show, you should have a little more than that. You should have more like 60 or 70% show. But let's say 50. All right. If it's 50% show and you close 80% and you want to make 100 grand, you need 10 appointments a week booked. You book 10 appointments a week. You know you're going to get in front of 5. You're going to close 4, and you're making 100 grand. All right, plus. All right, guys. So work backwards with the numbers. All right. Then you're going to prepare the quote. You're going to prepare it with Philly. You're going to prepare it with NatGen. You're going to prepare it with UHC, and you're going to go ahead and send the quote from the carrier's site. It looks much cleaner. They all have very nice, easy to read quotes, but you do want to tell them up front. Don't don't worry about it if you don't understand the stuff, because that's what we're going to go over on Monday at 2:00. All right. And we'll explain everything in detail with you. Okay. Now, once you book that appointment for Monday at 2:00, it goes into a calendar. I use Google Calendar. It's real easy, right? I put their email on the Google Calendar, so they're gonna, if they use Google Calendar, then the appointment's automatically jumping on their calendar, okay? If they use some other calendar, they're gonna get an email with the time and date of our appointment, all right? Now, you wanna make multiple contacts in between the initial phone call and the appointment. Now, don't think that's multiple phone calls. You don't want to call them and say, hey, thank you for letting me send you a quote yesterday. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that, you got your quote and we've got our appointment for Monday, and then confirm it. That's not what I mean, okay? With all the different platforms of communication in today's world, it's real simple to make multiple contacts before before you get to that appointment and you're looking to close a deal. All right, guys. And, what's the saying in sales, right? What's the average amount of contacts that it takes to close a sale? The answer is 7. It takes 7 contacts on average to close a sale, right? So, you want to ideally have close to 7 contacts by the time you get to the appointment, all right? And I'll tell you how to do that, all right? So you have that initial call, right? Let's count them up. You have the initial call where you're gathering the information and you're qualifying them, and you've determined that you've got a prospect that you can sell, and that's 1 contact, right? Then we prepared the quote for them, and we sent them a quote from the Philadelphia American platform or UHC or NatGen or whatever. They got their quote with our name and our number on it. That's the 2nd contact. We're going to go ahead and text them, right? A couple hours later. Mr. Jones, thank you so much for the opportunity to earn your business. I want you to keep your eye out because I did send you a quote with United Healthcare, and we will go over it on Monday at 2:00. That's the 3rd contact, right? You want to send them a Facebook friend request, right? Maybe not. Maybe Facebook is too personal for you. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Find them on LinkedIn and try to connect with them on LinkedIn, okay? Maybe Instagram is your favorite platform. You want to see if they have an Instagram, and you can follow them on Instagram. You want to find some other platform, okay, that you can connect with them on, okay? So that's another contact. Oh, they're also going to get an email, right, of the appointment time, right, because we put them on a calendar. So that's another contact, okay? We're going to confirm the appointment the night before via email and text. That's 2 more contacts, okay? So we're going to confirm with them, Mr. Jones or Herb, just confirming our appointment, 2:00 tomorrow. Looking forward to working with you. Remember to be in front of a computer, and please let me know if something has come up and we can reschedule. You'll send that text, you'll send that email, okay? And then you've got the appointment, right? So between the initial call, sending them the quote, booking them on a calendar, texting them thank you, asking to follow them or connect with them on a social media platform, texting and emailing them the confirmation of the appointment, and then the actual appointment day and time when you're conducting, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 contacts. You've made 8 contacts with that person and that prospect. from the initial call till the time of closing them, okay, till the time of presenting to them and going for the deal, okay? Now, the agent that does that is going to be a hell of a lot more successful than the agent that says, let me run you a quote and I'll call you next week, and then doesn't book an appointment, doesn't send a thank you text, doesn't try to connect on a social media platform, doesn't confirm an appointment because you don't even have an appointment, right? And then just follows up with them next week. Hey, I sent you that quote last week. Did you get it? Let's talk about it, right? You're going to drive yourself nuts by playing that game chasing, okay? You really want to book that hard appointment and make those connections in between, all right? Now, when you get to the appointment, okay, it's Monday at 2 o'clock, and Herb and I are about to do the screen share. They're in front of a computer. We've got our quote, right? We want to do a screen share. We want to turn the camera on. We want them to see us. You want to make it as personal as possible, and that's why you're going to try to connect with them on a social media platform. I use LinkedIn, okay? I try to connect with them on LinkedIn, all right? I don't look at my Facebook too often, my personal Facebook, so I'm not trying to friend request a bunch of prospects. But I'll have a bunch of business owners as connections on LinkedIn, no problem, right? And then through my emails and texts and putting them on my calendar, that gives them plenty of time to check me out, to do their research, to confirm that I am who I say I am and that I'm an actual pro at what I'm talking about, right? But now it's Monday at 2 o'clock. Herb shows for his appointment, and I've got a screen share up, and I'm making it personal, all right? And guess what they do? They turn their camera on too, okay? And now you can see them, and it's become very personal. It's just like being in their home, right? Now you're ready to go. Your chances for closing that deal have, probably quadrupled. I don't know the numbers, but if you are just picking up the phone, calling a lead, trying to run a quote for that lead over the phone and try to close that deal, and when you don't close that deal, you tell them, great, let me send you this quote and I'll follow up with you next week. And then next week, you're just following up and following up and following up and following up, okay? I'm going to have 4, 5, 6, 7 times better odds. If I'm competing with you as an agent for that business, I'm going to get the deal, okay? I'm going to get the deal because of the process, because of how I've made it personal, because of the amount of contacts, because I'm an open book. Check me out, right? You want to see if I am who I say I am? If I can do for you what I say I can do for you? Check me out, all right? I am going to beat you on that business 100% of the time if you are not on your game, all right? The first thing you want to do in that sales process, okay, is you want to build your case. Why did you choose the plan that you chose? Why? Okay. Remember, present only one plan. You can always bounce. So I like Philadelphia American, as most of you know, right? I think it's very consumer-centric coverage, and this is something we're going to talk about on Monday's sales meeting, guys. We're heading towards a paradigm shift in the insurance business, in the healthcare industry. And the way that healthcare is delivered to consumers. In the past, our industry has been provider and insurance company, built around the insurance companies and the health insurance providers, right? And it's changing gears now to become a consumer-centric industry. Okay, where consumers are going to have the opportunity to shop for healthcare, to be in more control of their healthcare, and we see technology platforms and advocacy groups popping up all over the place, to head in that direction. So the times are changing, okay, very, very quickly. So you have to pay attention to what's happening. All right. So anyway, send them one quote, and I like Philly. And if I'm going to build a case as to why I started with Philadelphia American, now think about that, guys. When the commissions on United Healthcare Health Protector Guard are actually better than the commissions. They're about 20% better. Okay, so I get about 20% more commission to sell United Healthcare than I do Philadelphia American? And how much easier do you think my life would be if I went in presenting United Healthcare to a prospect versus Philadelphia American? A hell of a lot easier, right? Hey, this is United Healthcare. I'm sure you've heard of United Healthcare, right? I don't need to sell the company, right? So it would be real simple to build a case as to why I chose United Healthcare. Well, I chose United Healthcare because they're the biggest health insurer in the country. It's a $250 billion company. That's why I chose UHC. I'm sure you understand, right? Oh yeah, makes sense, right? But I got to build my case why I'm pitching them Philly. Okay, so I tell them, Herb, I just want to tell you, the method as to why we're going to talk about this product specifically first before we look at any others. All right. And if this makes as much sense to you as it does to me, then we won't have to look at any other products. All right. And the reason is because when you're looking at health insurance, okay, individual health insurance, here's your options. Okay. You can do an Obamacare plan. Well, number one, it's not open enrollment. Okay. Number two, you're a small business owner. You probably make too much money to qualify for subsidies. So you're going to be looking at a premium of 4 times of what we're looking at currently, right? The quote I sent you. Number three, the other challenge you're going to have when it comes to Obamacare plans is the deductibles are typically high, and the networks, the access to care has become more and more limited in the last few years. So, they get agreeing, right? Get them agreeing with all that. And what do? We just took Obamacare off the table, right? And I'm building my case as to why I'm pitching them Philly. Just took Obamacare off the table. The next thing the next thing you have available in terms of health insurance is outside Obamacare. There's 2 options. You can do a short-term medical, or you can do what's called a limited medical or an indemnity plan. Now, short-term medical, I don't like it because it's short-term. Okay, even on a 36-month short-term, that is a policy that will expire. So if you get sick, and by sick, I don't mean the flu, I mean cancer. You have a heart attack, you have a stroke, something that could require ongoing care moving forward, right? As soon as that policy expires, you're done. And you can't get a new one because you have to be re-underwritten to get a new one. Now your only option becomes Obamacare, right? So I just took a short-term off the table. And that leaves us to limited benefit plans, Herb, which are policies that have limits, but they are permanent. They're guaranteed renewable till age 65. That means if you pay the premium every single month, you can keep this policy until you turn 65, okay? And that's why I like this option over the others. Not to say that I don't have clients on the others, I do, because those make the most sense for the other customers. But in your situation, I think this will be the best bet, and let's discuss the benefits now. I just built my case as to why I quoted Philadelphia American versus any other carrier, any other product, right? It's permanent, right? And it's the best it's the best policy of its kind on the market. It's the best limited medical on the market. United Healthcare is very good too with the Health Protector Guard. So if you want to sell United Healthcare, which we're actually, we're going back and forth with their finance department right now, talking about getting a 6-month, potentially up to a 9-month advance. So we should be, we should have earned our advances from UHC very soon. So with that being said, anyway, you guys, if you want to sell UHC, the Health Protector Guard is very good. You can use that same case, use the same, use the exact same strategy building your case. Obamacare is too expensive. The networks are brutal. Short-term expires. This policy with United Healthcare is a Health Protector Guard, which is permanent. And the reason I'm using the United Healthcare product is because it's United Healthcare, right? So you just built your case, okay? Then you're gonna, once you got them to agree, okay, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Now let's dive into this policy and let's see if it makes sense. You go over the plan details, okay? And you're always going to stress the fact that you're available to service them whenever they need, right? Now, you guys understand how indemnity plans work, how limited benefit plans work. they have a set benefit amount, right? And anything over and above that set benefit amount is the client's responsibility to pay. So it works just the opposite of major med, where major med, you pay the deductible first and then your coverage starts. On limited med, you get the benefit first and your out-of-pocket is on the back end. Well, the reason I like these plans a lot more now than I ever did is because of the consumer-centric model we are starting to see emerge in our industry, where customers can shop for the pricing that best fits their needs, okay? When we know the benefit amount for a service or a procedure, we know the exact amount of coverage that customer has. Now we can take that amount of coverage to the market and find them a doctor in their area that will do the service for that dollar amount, okay? So again, limited benefit plans, especially one like, there's ones out there that are crap, pure crap, right? Like $200 a day worth of hospital coverage. That's not going to do nothing, okay? 2 visits a year to the doctor at $50 a pop, right? $100 to the ER once a year. those are crap products. And we're talking Philly, which is a good benefit. $500 for an MRI, 20 doctor visits at $120 a clip, a $250 annual wellness benefit, okay? $3,000 to $4,500 a day in the hospital, all right? $5,000 a day in the ICU. These are good benefit levels, okay? And in most cases, you'll be able to find providers that will take those benefit levels, all right? So go over the plans in detail with them, line by line, coverage for this, coverage for that, coverage for this, all right? And if you're pitching a Health Protector Guard with United Healthcare or a Philadelphia American limited benefit plan, you're going to find that the benefit levels are usually more than enough. And in most cases, you can always find a provider that will take that dollar amount or less. Guys, I have clients that are putting checks in their pocket all the time because we are finding them providers that cost less than what their plan covers. And their plan has to, in order to be an indemnity plan, they can't just pay up to the amount of the benefit. They have to pay the exact dollar amount of the benefit for the service every time, okay? So go over those plans in detail. And we have, we've got recorded trainings on the products available. The carriers do regular trainings. We will do a one-on-one training with you to make sure that you understand these products and that you are explaining them properly to your customers, all right? You gotta know your products. All right, after you go through everything, right, you're gonna ask for the sale. And let's go ahead and see if we can get you approved for this one. You wanna go ahead and get this one started? How about we get you signed up now? Because that's it, that's asking for the sale, okay? It doesn't need to be this, this psychological, close that you walk up, but they don't even know they're doing an application until you're asking for payment information, okay? That's cheesy salesman stuff in our business. It doesn't work anymore, okay? But you still got to ask. You're not going to get the deal unless you ask, okay? Now, if you're good and you explain everything and you've got their buy-in, okay, if you're good, then they'll ask you, okay, what's the next steps? Well, the next step's an application, and we just go right into it, all right? But the odds are good. You're still going to have to ask, right? And the way I ask is I tell them, I say, listen, there is an underwriting process, okay? So you do have to get approved for it. Once we get you approved, then you're going to pay your first premium, and your policy is going to start on the effective date of now, right? Or whatever date we chose, okay? And to start that process, we're going to go ahead and knock out a quick application. You're going to sign it on your end, and then we'll kick it over to the underwriters, okay? So go over the whole process with them and what their what the expectations are, and just ask for the sale. Now, could you get some objections? Of course, okay? But at that point, When you have a customer that's sitting in front of you on a screen share, they're a serious buyer, okay? The objections that they may have at that point should be very minimal, okay? Unless they really just don't like the product that you have presented, in which case you may switch gears and go to a different product, all right? You may have to do the process again, okay? But usually the objections are something like, the biggest objection I get is, well, I paid my premium for this month, so I don't want this to start till March 1st. No problem. We change the effective date. Let's do the application and let's start the process to get you insured for March 1st, right? Some of the other objections, I can't even think of them, like they're so minimal, right? One of the deals I'm going to do on this Sunday, I did the screen share with the guy. The reason I didn't close him at that point was because he's the decision maker for his son and his son's family, who works for him, right? Runs his business. So he has the task of finding him healthcare. And so I didn't, I did it with him, and his son wasn't there. So he wanted to go over it with his son, and his son wasn't there. So, all right, cool. I didn't close it. I'm closing it on Sunday. All right. So those kinds of things are going to happen. But in most cases, you get somebody in front of a computer and you've built your case as to why you've quoted what you've quoted, and you've built the value in the product to justify the premium that you're talking about. All right. Then most of the time the objections are very, very minimal. Right. And in most cases, by that point, if there is an objection and they're not willing to do the deal with you right then and there, then there really is a true objection, right? It just, you're not going to get the deal right there, right? But it's not, like on the first call where you're trying to hammer them on the deal and they're feeding you every BS objection in the world, right? Got to talk to my wife, got to look at my finances, got to think about it, right? Those are all BS objections because they just don't want to do the deal right now. Right? It'd be better off just come out and say, look, I'm not doing business with you today. Okay. I need, we need to go further in the process. You need to contact me 7 more times. Right. As long as you're building value all the way through, right, guys? And even the supplement products, right? I tell them, let's go over the main plan first, and then we'll talk about the supplemental products and the gaps that we're filling with those main plans, right? Customers love critical illness insurance. They love extra accident insurance and the plan enhancer with NatGen that will pay out for sickness hospitalization. They love that plan, all right? And very rarely does a customer knock the supplements off, okay? If they're trying to knock the supplements off, it's because we're really we're budget fitting at that point, right? But keep, build the value all the way through with what you are presenting, and you should have very, very minimal objections, okay? Now, the keys to being successful with this, okay? Be confident. Obviously, we talked about that. That's number one. Be confident, okay? If you sound unsure of yourself, if you're not unsure of yourself, who's going to be sure of you, okay? If you are not sure of yourself, who is going to be sure of you, okay? You got to be sure of what you're doing. Be confident, okay? Be professional, all right? Don't worry about building rapport. That will come. I've got great rapport. In fact, one of my clients is a developer in Jacksonville, and he was a client of mine. He now, his 2 employees are clients of mine, and he is, we started an advocacy product I'm going to talk to you guys about on Monday, but he's building our healthcare advocacy into all of his rental properties. So when they pay him rent, they're going to have us as a healthcare advocate. Okay. So this is, I've got great rapport with my customers, but you know what? I didn't build rapport with this guy like I have today. I'm talking about going to Jacksonville with him to finalize our deal and go out, hang out with him for the night. Right. That's the kind of rapport I've got with my customers. Okay, I got another guy in real estate. He sent me like 6 realtors. He's a VP of some real estate company. All the realtors are my clients now. I got great rapport with this guy. All right. The rapport will come, okay? Don't worry about building rapport. Be about business. Be confident, be professional, all right? They know what you're trying to do. They're not stupid. They're business owners. They know that your end game is for them to be your customer, that you want their business. So why, don't play games with them. Don't be shy about asking for their business, and don't be shy about telling them that you want their business. Okay? It's not to suggest anything other than that is where you look untrustworthy, you look unsure of yourself, you look like a sleazy salesman. Okay, and you gotta erase that totally. Sleazy salesmen don't cut it in our industry. All right, speak clearly and get to the point. Okay, guys, always speak clearly and get to the point. Don't dance around everything. Be well spoken. Explain it clearly. All right, make sure they understand it. Okay. Talking about numbers. We talking about numbers. Okay, full-time agents. You want to run 5 quotes a day, 5 new quotes a day, okay? If it takes you 100 phone calls to run 5 new quotes and get 5 prospects, then make 100 phone calls, okay? It's that simple. Know your own numbers in your business, okay? If you got to make 100 dials, make 100 dials. If you need, 10 to 15 appointments a week in order to close the amount of business that you need, right? Then book 10 to 15 appointments per week, okay? The fortune is always in the follow-up, okay? You guys hear me say that all the time. It's a very, very well-known sales saying. The fortune is in the follow-up. It is. It's never on the first call. The fortune is not in the first call. The fortune is in the follow-up, all right? And if it takes 7 contacts to close a deal, get those 7 contacts, man, race to 7 contacts, okay? Don't wait for every phone call to be a contact. Contact them via LinkedIn, via Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or WhatsApp or anything, right? Contact them, text them, email them, send them a quote, put them on the calendar. These are all contacts. They all count as contacts, all right? So race to 7 contacts. Spend most of your time on this activity, on the phones, all right? Guys, your job as insurance agents and agency owners is marketing. I mean, ultimately, okay? Sales is marketing, all right? And you have to promote yourself. You have to promote yourself as an insurance agent. You have to promote your business, all right? If you're not willing to promote yourself, who's going to, okay? I'm too busy promoting myself and my business. I'm not going to promote you, right? You have to promote yourself, okay? Nobody else is going to do it for you. Your job is marketing. Spend the time on the marketing because that's all you should be doing. If you're not doing screen share appointments, what are you spending your time doing? Because the screen share appointments and the presentations are not just going to jump on your calendar. So the only thing you should be thinking about is, how do I get names on my calendar? Or I get on the phones and I run the quotes and I make the contacts and I find the buyers, okay? If I don't have fresh leads to call, I get business leads and I call cold, right? Get out in the street, walk and talk, okay? Spend a little time doing some old school marketing, lawn signs, flyers, direct mail pieces, okay? But start to learn the game of social media. Guys, I see it happening right now, okay? In the 60s and 70s, pounding the pavement was the only way to sell, door to door, right? In the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, it went to phone rooms. And those early days, those 80s and 90s phone rooms, it was so easy to hire salespeople because the career salespeople were sick of pounding the pavement. Oh, you mean I could sit at a desk and make phone calls all day and make money? That's easy. Rip the phones. Now here we are, it's 2021. You can't build a phone room to save your life, with commission salespeople. Because nobody wants to rip the phones all day. They think there's an easier way. Okay, well, there is. But if you're not creating 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and myself included, I got to get better at this, pieces of content a day on multiple social media channels, so you can get recognized and promote yourself, okay? Then you're going to be dead in the water, all right? So there's going to come a time in sales where the phone will be just as dead as pounding the pavement is today. Can you still pound the pavement and make money? Yes. Will you still be able to pick up the phone, make phone calls, and make money in 10, 15 years? Probably, all right? But most people are going to be doing their shopping on social media. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. They're not going to be Googling things anymore and having these lead companies. That's already dying. You know, in case you haven't noticed, the quality of lead that you buy from a lead company is, you know, it's getting bombarded by call centers, and it's not a good lead. Okay, so the quality has gone down drastically. All right, so spend your time and your activity on marketing. Okay, don't mistake motion for progress. Okay, you can be in motion all day, but not run one single quote or book one single appointment. Okay, and a lot of times people mistake motion for progress. Just because you're in motion doesn't mean you're progressing towards the goal. Okay, you have to spend your time doing the things that are going to make you money. All right, otherwise you're just not going to be in the game very long. All right, so don't mistake motion for progress. What do I mean by that? Contracting with carriers, right? Going through certifications, getting your AHIP, right? I could literally spend a month diversifying my portfolio, making deals with carriers, getting contracts, right? I go out and get us 10, 15, 20 life insurance carriers for every single type of life insurance scenario you'll run across. The same thing for Medicare, the same thing for group and under 65 health, all the health shares. We could spend all year doing that, diversifying our portfolio. Is it going to make us one penny? No. We could spend all year diversifying our portfolio, training on these products, learning them inside and out, and becoming just masters of what's available in you know, every single state we do business in, which, you know, we have obviously a very good idea of what's available, but we can really learn the intricacies of each product inside and out, the waiting periods, right? The benefit levels, the options to choose from, right? The actual names of the products. It's endless. There's so many moving parts in this industry, you can spend all day learning, all right? Is that going to make you money? Not today, it's not. Okay? Spend the bulk of your time doing today what's going to make you money. Okay? Finding your next client. All right? And yes, the phones are still the most effective way to market. The other activities should be secondary to your phone work. All right? If you dread the phones, okay, make it the first thing you do every single day. You know, at 9 a.m., you're going to hit the phones hard till noon. All right? You do what you can in those 3 hours. Then you're going to take a lunch, and from 1 to 5 p.m., you want to spend your time pumping out 5 Facebook posts or, you know, 5 posts on 3 different social media channels or whatever, right? You still spent 7 hours that day of marketing, right? But you should ultimately be spending the bulk of your time hitting the phones. And again, if you dread that, get it done first thing in the morning. Get all your calls done and out of the way. All right. Couple of things that are so important for you guys to understand. Becoming an expert in this game takes time. All right. You can write big numbers and still not be an expert. You got to be committed to always learning. This takes me back to a story I have of an agent that we hired in mid-2016. And by mid-2017, this particular agent out of Texas had earned over $250,000 in commissions. The first 12 months in this agent's business of being self-employed, as she was in a call center. She worked in a call center for about 12 years selling healthcare, right? And then she went out on her own to work commission. And in the first 12 months, she took the principles that she had been working in the call center, right, over to her own business. And in those 12 months, those first 12 months of business, she made $250,000. Okay. Does that make her an expert? No. Okay. She was not an expert, because today, guess what? She's back in a call center because she couldn't maintain it. All right. She was gunslinging. Her persistency was crap. Her service was crap. She was writing big numbers, but she could never make that turn to being an expert. All right. Becoming an expert takes time. Okay. Play the long game. I promise you guys it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. You're probably an expert at something, would be my guess, whether it's video games or, horoscopes or, playing the flute or, it's endless what you can be an expert at, right? My guess is you are an expert at something. Cooking, right? Cleaning, I don't know. My guess is you're an expert at something, all right? And to become an expert in whatever you're an expert in, it took time. You didn't pick up the guitar on day one and start playing like Jimi Hendrix. You put the time in to become an expert guitar player. Okay, play the long game. Success in this business is unlike success in almost every other business. It's the type of success that people strive for. What do people strive for? Right? Making money while you sleep sounds pretty good, right? When they're paying those premiums month after month, that commission check's being cut month after month, okay? This is the type of success that people strive for. The success that will allow them to become an expert, bust their ass, work hard for a specific period of time, and then get to a certain point where they can decide, okay, I'm going to keep going because I see more, right? If you have goals like I do in this industry where I actually want to be the health insurer, right? I want to build a health share. I want to collect premium. I want to be the insurer for people, okay, directly, okay? And you have that opportunity to keep going because the sky is truly the limit in this industry. Or you can be like so many of my other friends in this business that make $250,000 a year and literally work 10 to 15 hours a week. Okay. Their feet are up, they're enjoying life, and they're getting paid. Okay. That's the type of success that people strive for. And it's available. Yeah, that's what I love about this business. Everybody's level of success is different. I've got agents that have made, $60,000 a year, and that was enough to put their feet up and relax. And like I said, others, I had dinner with one of my buddies last week, So what are you up to, man? He's like, I'm retired, semi-retired. Made $300,000 last year. He's got a team of over 100 agents producing, made $300,000 last year, and he's semi-retired. You got that option. You got that choice, okay? So play the long game. That doesn't happen overnight, right? Know where you're heading and be relentless in your pursuit. In other words, I just told you guys what my vision is and what my goals are, right? I want to create a health share, okay? I want to build healthcare products, and I want to be in charge of assisting people obtain, have their care provided and paid for. That's what I want to do. I want to be a health insurer, okay? That's my end game, and that's where, that's the direction that we're working towards, okay? Know what your goals are. Know what direction you want to go in. Do you want to have a team across the nation and recruit and train and support? Do you want to be a top producer? I've got, another friend of mine in the business makes $2 million a year. $2 million a year, okay? And doesn't support one agent, is a personal producer. Focuses on the group market, actually. Has over 400 groups that she insures. Okay. So, but no, she made that decision very early on. Said, okay, I don't want to be a recruiter. I don't want to train agents. I don't want to support agents. I just want to be a producer and go and build my book of business. She's got 5 full-time employees, all working with her to support that book of business, create, build that service block, that service piece, which is so important. And, she was relentless to achieve that. Okay. So, but know what your vision is. You got to have a vision. You got to have a goal, right? If you just, I talk to people all the time that want to come in and give our opportunity a try. And well, I'll give it a try and see if it works. I'm thinking to myself, you're dead already. You're already dead. You have no goals. Your vision's not clear. You don't know what you want. You're dead. You're going to give it a try. What does that mean? You're going to make 2 phone calls, be rejected twice, and you're going to go do something else. I see it all the time. Okay. Last thing, it's never the leads that are going to determine whether you succeed. It has nothing to do with them. Okay. Because the truth is, hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars worth of premium is being distributed on a daily basis in our business. Millions of dollars of premium is being distributed on a daily basis in our business. Okay. And every single person that's buying that product is a lead. Okay. Whether or not you get your hands on some, it's totally up to you. Has nothing to do with the names and the phone numbers that are provided to you from your managers or your agencies or whatever. It's never going to be the leads that determine your success. It's always going to be how hard you work, what you put into it. Again, following what I just went over with you, becoming an expert, playing the long game, okay? Having a goal and a vision to achieve, okay? That's what's going to make it happen. Spending your time on money-making activities versus non-money-making activities, right? Marketing versus reading brochures and learning new products, okay? All right, guys, so I hope this helps. Again, this will be recorded. We're going to go ahead and blast this out. Let me end the recording here.